Hello students, this is Rohit sir, your biological science teacher. I hope everyone is safe at home. During the previous videos, we have observed so many topics with the beautiful video references with a nice explanation. And in the last activity, we have observed the mitochondria with the help of Janus Greenby solution. Now here we are going to discuss about the ribosomes. In the previous videos, you have observed some small yellowish dot-like structures which are attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Those are called ribosomes. Actually, ribosomes are small granule-like structures and they have formed of RNA. What is the meaning of RNA? RNA is nothing but ribonucleic acid. Okay, and here ribosomes are of two types. They are free ribosomes. These free ribosomes are freely scattered in the cytoplasm. They can float in the cytoplasm and just like they are swimming. Now next one is attached. These attached ribosomes are attached to some special surfaces. Now while we have observed during the rough endoplasmic reticulum, some small yellowish dot like structures have attached to that. Now these are ribosomes. And what is the function of ribosomes? The function of ribosome is the protein synthesis. Now I am advising each and every person to please take a notebook and note down all this important information, as this information is useful for your future purposes. And also please watch the video carefully, because in the middle of the video I will assign you some homework. Now next topic is plastids. Now activity 3. What is the meaning of a plastid? Plastid is nothing but a color producing substance. So many times you have observed that some leaves are green in color, and newly born leaves are reddish and light pink in color, and so many times you have also seen the whitish leaves. I think you may or may not have seen the whitish leaves. I have seen different colored leaves on only one plant. Now why the plant's leaves are different in different colors in different situation? That is all because of a special structure called plastids. These plastids are different things that will give colors to the leaf, and that is giving colors to the fruits and at the same time plant. Now what is the plastid that is well known? The well known plastid is called chloroplast. You know chloroplast? Chloroplast is a small plastid. Inside the chloroplast, chlorophyll is present. This chlorophyll will give the plant to green color. This chlorophyll will give the green color to the leaf. Now in this activity 3, we are going to observe the chloroplast in the Rio leaf. Now take a peel of Rio leaf and mount it on the drop on a slide. Now observe it under the microscope. Now let us see this thing. Okay, now what you have to do? You have to take a leaf and tear it in a single stroke. Then you will get a small thin layer. Then you have to take that thin layer on a slide and you have to observe under the microscope, and then you can observe some small granule like or dot like structure. Those are present inside it, and these are called plastids. Actually the substance that is present inside this chloroplast is chlorophyll. See, chloroplast is different, chlorophyll is different. Chloroplast is cell organelle. Chlorophyll is a color producing substance. Both are quietly different. See, there is a chance of confusing you in your examination by telling the same words chloroplast and chlorophyll. So you have to remember that chloroplast is a cell organelle, chlorophyll is a color producing substance. Okay, now let us see the activity number 4, observing the chloroplast in the algae. Now what does the algae means? Algae is nothing but a greenish mass that is floating on pond water. I think so many times you have went to the pond or lake. When you observe the pond or lake, on the upper layers of the water, some greenish mass is floating. This floating greenish mass is called algae. This algae is nothing but just like the grass in our garden. Now when you observe your surrounding garden area, you can observe some small grass present on that ground. Now just like that, in the water also some greenish structure is present, that is called algae. Now collect some algae from the pond or lake and separate out some thin filaments like structures from them. Place it on the slide and observe through the microscope. Now you can also draw the pictures and you can take the help of these pictures. Now here if you see the left one, you can see some strand like structures are available here. Okay, some zigzag structures are available here. and here also you can see some greenish structures. Do they look like of our grass? Yes. Now here, this is actually the structure of chloroplast. Now if you observe under the microscope, the chloroplast is a type of plastid that is present in the green color. Plastids are of different types. They are three. What are they? Chromoplast, leucoplast and chloroplast. What is the meaning of chromoplast? Here plast is nothing but plastid. The word plast is nothing but plastid. Now you have to concentrate on the first word, chromo. Chromo means colored. Next, leuco. Leuco means colorless. Now chloro. Now this chloro word will give you the green color. That is nothing but if any substance that is present colored, then that is called as chromoplast. If there is no color at all, then that is called leucoplast. Then if its green color is present, then that is called chloroplast. So in these three words, chromo, leuco and chloro are different. Remaining words are three are different. They are plast. Plast is nothing but plastid. Okay, I hope everyone have understood well. Now here you can see the structure of the chloroplast. Now for this, let us observe some digital and graphical content. As you can see here, these plastids were introduced by Ernest Haeckel, and these are small disc shaped and spherical bodies, and he found different types of plastids. Here you can see protoplast, leucoplast, etioplast, ameloplast, chromoplast, elaioplast and proteinoplast and chloroplast. So now we are not going to discuss about all these things, but we have to discuss about three types of plastids. Now leucoplastids. Leucoplastids are colorless plastids. Okay, so this is all advanced information about the plastids. Now here chromoplast are nothing but different colored plastids, and inside the chromoplast you have to observe one thing, that is xanthophyll. This xanthophyll is a colored plastid that will give yellow color to the leaves. Now here keratin gives orange red color. Now keratin, the word it resembles the carrot. Carrot also orange red in color. Why the carrot orange red in color? Because of the presence of keratin. I hope everyone have understood. Okay. Now as you see, this is the plant cell. Inside the plant cell you can see a small structure called chloroplast. See, this is a small cell organelle. It's oval in shape. Inside this cell some layer like structures are there, and inside the layer like structure chlorophyll is present. Okay, and I hope everyone have understood the inner sections of the chloroplast, right? I hope everyone have understood or enjoyed the graphical information about the chloroplast. Now as you can see here, this chloroplast structure, it is circular or oval in shape. You can see this is oval in shape or egg shape. Now inside you can see so many parts, those are called outer membrane. See, actually this chloroplast is made up of three layers. First one is outer membrane, the second one is inner membrane, and the third one is thylakoid. What is that? Thylakoid. Now when these thylakoids are arranged in stacks, see, when these thylakoids are arranged one on another, these are called granum. Okay, now inside some special jelly like structure is available. This is called stroma. Stroma is the important area where the photosynthesis will be taken place, and this discussion will be done in your 10th class first lesson, nutrition and photosynthetic topic, mechanism of photosynthesis topic. Okay, till that time you have to understand the structure of the chloroplast. Okay, now let us move to the next one, that is called Chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are different shapes. They are either disc shape or otherwise they are in the oval shape. In algae, these can be found sometimes like ladders, stars, or spirally coiled or reticulate structures. Now, what is the meaning of spirally coiled? Spirally coiled are nothing but like this, spirally coiled. And now, what is the meaning of reticulate structures? They are like this, reticulate structures. Now the diameter of chloroplast in the higher plants can differ from 4 to 10 microns. Now the primary function of the chloroplast is to trap the solar energy and convert them into the chemical energy, that is nothing but glucose, helping out the carry of photosynthesis inside the plants. See, if there is chloroplast, there will be photosynthesis. If there is no chloroplast, then there is no photosynthesis. Now, do you know certain organelles are present in large number in the cells? Example, cells involved in the photosynthesis may contain around 50 to 200 chloroplasts. That is nothing but the cells which are present inside the leaf have more number of chloroplasts, but in the root there is no chloroplast. Understood? Now here, according to the area of the work, the cell number area, the cell organelles area either increases or decreases. That is depend upon the work done by that cell. Now let us see the next one, vacuole. Observing the vacuole. Take a leaf or any stem of the succulent plant. What is the meaning of succulent plant? Succulent plant is nothing but a juicy plant or very thick plant, just like torch cactus. Have you ever seen cactus? Now you can take that and you can cut it, or you can make the section and you can observe through the microscope. Now stain it with saffron in solution and observe the section under the low and high powered microscope. Now what did you see? You can see a large space that is present inside the cell, that is called a vacuole. Now what are all these things? If you see the plant cell, inside the cell this is the nucleus, and here you can see very large structure, balloon like structure. This is called a vacuole. Now here in the torch cactus you can see some small balloon like structure that is helpful for storing the oil, or otherwise that is helpful for storing the gases or sometimes water. Now here in the animals the vacuole size is very small, and in the plants the vacuole size is very larger. In mature plants they might occupy almost entire cell space. Vacuoles maintain turgor pressure within the cell. What is the meaning of turgor pressure? Turgor pressure is nothing but it is creating, or it is applying some force on the walls, so that the walls cannot be damaged. So it is creating some pressure, and they export unwanted substances from the cell to outer area. Now let us see some video reference for this vacuoles also. Now we can see in the center in the plant cell a very large balloon like structure is present, a sac like structure. This is called vacuole. Okay. In animals the vacuole size is very smaller, while in the plants the vacuole size is very larger. Now sometimes it may occupies nearly 90% of the cell space. Now it will be filled with cell sap or otherwise cell liquids. Nucleus and cell organelles are pushed towards the periphery of the plant. Now what is the meaning of periphery? Periphery means the outer layer. Now because of this vacuole, all the cell organelles are pushed outside to the periphery. Now it will provide the space for the storage of water soluble compounds, just like sugar and other minerals inside it. Now let us discuss about some other important thing. Are the cells are flat? So many times you have seen some drawings of cells under the microscope, and you have seen so many cell drawings on the textbook itself. Okay. Now if you see, all the cells look like flat, but they are 2D pictures. But when you see the cells are not flat, they have a 3D shape. Now why they have every time demonstrated as flat? Because of this 2D structure. If you want to see the thickness of the cells, then you can justly see the slide from the sides by bending it. Then you can see the thickness of the cells, or otherwise while you are observing through the microscope, if you change the light intensity slightly, then you can see the thickness of the cells. Okay. Now as you can see here, the cells 3D dimension picture has given here, and the left side one is the vacuole. the orange color space that is occupied by the vacuole, and here you can see vacuoles are very smaller, and here this is the 3D shape of a cell. Now let us discuss about some important topic. Where do these cells are coming from? Okay, now you have observed that so many cells are produced inside of our body, and so many cells are destroyed by our body. But so many years ago they have not an idea about how the cells are coming, how the new cells are forming. Around in 1838 to 39, two scientists have done their work. The scientists were Matthias Jakob Schleiden and Theodor Schwann. So Schleiden and Schwann both are the scientists. Here Schleiden is the botanist while Schwann is the zoologist. What is the meaning of botanist? Botanist is nothing but a person who studies about the plant. Now what is the meaning of zoologist? Zoologist is nothing but a person who studies about the animals. Now here these are the two scientists related to two different fields, and they have worked together and they found the cell theory. Now for the record, it has been mentioned that quite a few scientists have recognized at that time the cells were present in all living organisms and were expressing it in their own ways. However, Schleiden and Schwann were the first to claim the fact that true for the entire plant and animal kingdom. Now here so many scientists have worked on the development of the cells. At that time so many persons have said so many concepts about how the new cells are forming, but here these Schleiden and Schwann are the two scientists. Those have developed a special concept, and this concept was widely accepted by all the world, and they have said a cell theory. Now here Schleiden and Schwann together formulated the cell theory. Who formulated the cell theory? Here two scientists. First one is Schleiden and the second one is Schwann. Schleiden and Schwann both have formulated the cell theory, and this theory however did not explain how the new cells are coming, but they know that old cells are converting into new cells. Next, the Rudolf Karl von Virchow, that is nothing but Rudolf Virchow, has first explained that new cells could be formed by the division of pre-existing cells. Now what is the meaning of pre-existing? Pre-existing, what is the meaning of pre? Pre is nothing but before, existing means lived. So a cells before living, that is nothing but old cells. Now it is clear that the old cells are converting into new cells. That is nothing but old cells are dividing into two and they are forming both new cells. This is the theory was proposed by Rudolf von Virchow, and he modified the hypothesis of Schleiden and Schwann to give the cell theory the final shape. Now here Rudolf von Virchow has given a proper justification to the Schleiden and Schwann explanation. Now cell theory has understood today based upon two cardinal principle. What is the meaning of cardinal principle? The heart-like important principles. What are those principles? All living organisms are composed of the cells and products of the cell. Now what does this line is indicating? All of us, or otherwise all living things, they are composed of cells. That is nothing but they are made up of cells, and also product of the cell. Products of the cells are nothing but old cells have produced us. Now the second point is all cells arised from pre-existing cells. So all new cells that are coming here are producing from already present cells. Okay. Now here I would like to give a homework to you that you have to write who are the proponents of cell theory. You keep a heading called cell theory and you write about the scientists who have worked on three members of scientists. You write the names and you write their effort, and also you write the cardinal principles of the cell theory. Now this leads to the end of the chapter. Now we have successfully completed our chapter. Now let me give you one more example. Now I ask everyone to please draw the structure of chloroplast, and I have said to you that I will definitely conduct a drawing session through live, and I will tell you how to draw, and I will give you some tips also how to draw the drawings. I hope you have all enjoyed the lesson. See you in the next video. This is Rohit Krishna, your biological science teacher. Bye.